Thank you, and good afternoon all. Today I'm presenting about the potential and the risks of hydropower cooperation between Bangladesh and Nepal. Like Bangladesh and Nepal have a long relationship, and this relationship is being gradually developing through the hydropower cooperation between the government of Nepal and government of Bangladesh. Moving to the first slide, because in this 3-day conference, we are talking about the just energy transition. So that why does the just transition is necessary in the context of this century? This is the most necessary thing because the global is shifting. Now the global is shifting because of this climate change and that limit of 1.5 degrees Celsius. Now globally all the nations are shifting towards the renewable and the clean energy. And and in the terms of that, hydropower is also the one of the renewable energy. So that due to this global shift, we have necessary to move towards the just energy transition, as well as the climate energy. Climate energy is the emergency is the one of the major concern because the globally, like for the country like a Nepal, which is a mountainous country with the snow cap, glaciers, which matters a lot because it is the reservoir of a fresh water. And if the climate change or the temperature will be rise in this type of way, then it will matter a lot. So that the mountains matter a lot. So that due to the climate emergency, just energy transition is very necessary. And when we are talking about the just energy transition, what is a just transition? It is very necessary to understand because the just, in the earlier session before the launch, there is also the definition of the just energy transition. Like a presenter are highlighting about how the just transition should be addressed. So it should be the availability. The energy should be available to all, and it should be the key, and it should fulfill the basic human needs that which the human development needs, as well as affordable. It should be the service should be affordable for all, regardless of a socio-economic status. Just transition means just so that everyone can equally grab the opportunity, regardless of the socio-economic status of the people. And it should be the transparency, and it should be the accountable to all, and the sustainability matters a lot in the case of the just energy transition. In case of just energy transition, I want to present some points about what Nepal is doing or how Nepal is committed towards the just transition. Regarding a clean energy, Nepal has in second nationally determined commission, Nepal has mentioned that it will generate 15% of total energy generated to energy. Among the generated energy, 15% will be the clean energy. Electric vehicles, like 90% of all the private vehicles should be the by the 2030 it will be the electric vehicles, private well. Forest coverage, which is like a 45% of the land will be under the forest cover, which we have totally met. We are now Nepal has a coverage of 45% of the forest. Foil fuel dependency, like cut down by the 28% by the 2030. Net zero emissions by 2045, but if not possible by 2050, we have committed like that. As well as when we are talking about the just energy, that there will come the gender equity. So Nepal is planning, or in all the local government, like a 750 local government is planning to develop the climate resilience and the gender responsive adaptation plans also. Now, in terms of the why hydropower, why Nepal is talking, or why Nepal is executing so much hydropower, because the Nepal has the potential, because the Nepal is a mountainous and the hilly country. The geographical condition has boomed that hydropower development. Also the rivers or the glaciers which we have available, that is one of the opportunity we can grab that. So that the past resources, we have the past resources. Technically, we have a 42,000 megawatt, which is producible, which we can produce. That we have that megawatt of the resources. And according to the Nepal Electricity Authority, which is a major authority, which is administrating the hydropower sector of the Nepal, currently by the 2024, we have a 3,000 megawatt of hydropower production, and among that 95% is and in the Nepal, among the total energy production or consumption, that is given or contributed by the hydropower. That is a 95% will be the contribution from the hydropower. as well as the regional energy security. Why Nepal is dedicated to water? Because it is also the regional energy security. In the South Asian level, like Nepal is now exporting the energy to the India, as well as also exporting the energy to the Bangladesh, as well as we are in the dialogues with Bhutan, China, and also other neighboring countries for the exporting the energy from surplus energy from the Nepal to other countries, as well as the environmental benefits, because the hydropower is considered to be one of the renewable energy, so that it will help in the environmental benefits also. As well as why Nepal is trying to catch the potential of the hydropower means it wants to diversify the trade, because the Nepal, due to the climate change, once used to be an agriculture-based country, now the agriculture production have been declined very much. Now, like in the past, Nepal used to export like a cardamom or the clay, umrisho or some plant-based, NTFP-based products to the Bangladesh, but now it is not being able to do so. But now, if we are able to do it, why don't we can export the energy? Because the Bangladesh also need the energy mix at the situation, so that we can work together to the net zero emission, so that so the Nepal is diversifying the trade through the hydropower, as well as Nepal want to be a net exporter in the South Asian region in the terms of hydropower, as well as addressing the trade deficit of the Nepal. And in terms of cooperation, how we can support the Bangladesh, because of the Bangladesh rapid growth, because Bangladesh is rapidly growing country. It has a huge industrialization, and energy demand is very much high. So that to address that energy demand, the Nepal can have some support, so we can have that type of the cooperation also. Like a power source diversification, in Bangladesh, most of the energy are the fossil or the natural gas based, and also the Bangladesh is focusing on the solar farms and the solar plants. But still, to maintain the energy mix from the renewable energy, the solar or any other plants is not just sufficient. So that the cooperation with the country like Nepal, which have a huge potential on the hydropower, that can contribute a lot, as well as in the environmental sustainability, it can also contribute to the environmental sustainability of the Bangladesh also. Looking at the energy profiles and the complementary energy needs of the Bangladesh, like in the Bangladesh, energy mix is mostly from the fossil fuel base, and is and there is a high demand during the summer and monsoon both season. But in case of the Nepal, during the wet season, there is a surplus amount of the production of the hydroelectricity. There is a surplus production, so that that surplus amount of the hydro energy can be exported to the neighboring countries, and including the Bangladesh, so that we can have the opportunity to have a cooperation, and we have we can move towards the net zero emission, and we can be at the limit of the 1.5 degrees Celsius as indicated by the Paris Agreement. In the terms of the cooperation, there are several types of the developments. We can see that recently there is one of the historic tripartite energy agreement between the India, Bangladesh, and Nepal. This tripartite agreement was done in the October 2024. In this tripartite agreement, Nepal has agreed to transmit or export the 40 megawatt of hydropower electricity to Bangladesh using the transmission line of India. And this tripartite agreement has some building blocks. This is the cooperation which is started since 2018. In the very 2018, Nepal and Bangladesh has understanding on the power agreement and energy agreement. Basis on this, on 2023, the Joint Steering Committee meeting agreed to have a meeting with India and to have a dialogue with the Indian government to export our energy from the hydroelectricity from the Nepal to the India using the Indian transmission line. And this historic milestone was achieved in the 2024. In this trilateral power transmission, the energy transfer from the Dhalkebar of Nepal using a Muzaffar line to the by Burmapur, India to the Bheramara, Bangladesh. And in this cooperation, Nepal is exporting the 40 megawatt of hydroelectricity at the price of 6.4 US dollar cents per unit. And through this cooperation, what is the benefit for the Nepal? Because maybe you have a queries like if you have gone through the background of the Nepal itself. Nepal itself is there is energy challenges, so that one of the benefits is the hydropower potential can be grabbed, and another is to address a trade deficit. Well as what is the benefits of the Bangladesh can meet the demand of the energy mix, as well as it can diversify its energy. The key advantage, I will say that it will be the energy security for the Bangladesh. There will be the economic growth for the Nepal as well as for the Bangladesh also, and it will create the environmental sustainability globally. Okay, I'll skip this. Regarding when we are talking about the hydropower potential, there is also the social impacts also, because in case of Nepal, there is a number of the hydropower have displaced lots of households. For example, Budi Gandaki hydropower has displaced over 45,000 of the people from the surrounding area, as well as for the Tanu hydropower also there is like 500 households affected and 86 are completely disturbed. Like also the Sunkasi 3 hydropower is also under the negotiation under the Bangladesh and Nepal, so that the Sunkosi hydropower is also supposed to displace 400 households, so that 4,000 households, so that this is the situation. The people are being displaced by the hydropower. That is only one of the major issues of the hydropower. Also the indigenous right and indigenous communities are also affecting toward the hydropower, as well as the economic impact is one of the major points, because most of the people are based on the resources around the river, so that is also disturbed. As well as there is also the environmental impacts like a habitat fragmentation, water flow changes, as well as the pollutions also. In turn, saying this, but still we need a hydropower development, because the hydropower is one of the potential of the renewable energy. So it should be a sustainably developed. The community should be engaged, and community should be addressed well, and environmental mitigation plans should be well composed, and it should be executed, and it should be monitored. So looking at the shared future between Bangladesh and there is expanded. We need to expand the trade by the means of different type of mitigation and the monitoring. So in combined way, we can bring a regional economic dimension, and there will be the shared prosperity between Bangladesh and Nepal. So there is a necessary of a technical and feasibility study. There should be the policy framework, policy coherence, and policy harmony between the Bangladesh and the Nepal, and there should be the public awareness and the engagement also, because without disturbing the community of the Nepal, without disturbing the indigenous community of the Nepalese people, if we are able to develop the hydropower and able to export that is the beneficial thing. Saying this, I will say that we can have a hope of sustainable and just energy future from the hydropower, but it should be check and balance. Saying this, I will conclude this. Thank you.